When you're training the dog and you're using kind of like suppression techniques and corrections and things like that, what you're going to see is a sudden decline in the unwanted behavior. All right. And that can look really, really good to the average person that thinks that the problem is the barking, the lunging, all of that, the thing that the dog is actually doing. And you see this real like sudden spike in like improvement if you were looking at it like a graph, right? But then it plateaus because you're never really addressing the underlying reason why the dog was doing it in the first place. And this is what we want people to understand, is that people call us about the symptom of the problem, and it's not normally the problem itself. What is normally the problem itself is the underlying reasons of like how the dog is feeling, what is motivating the dog, what's the emotional place of the dog, what is the dog's learning history, things like that. So when we address it like that, and this is where the instant payoff often doesn't feel that appealing to people, sorry, because you spend a bit of time putting these foundations in, building up the communication skills, building their confidence up, changing how they feel about things, building your relationship up with them gradually. And it looks like this, rather than this massive, like sharp, steep graph that gets immediate gratification but then plateaus, we start to see it go really slow. And like it's steady, it's improving a little bit. But what we're doing really is laying the foundations, because once they're laid, then we start to see, okay, cool. Now we've got it in place, we can build. We start to see this like the graphs go, and it very quickly overtakes where the quick fixes have plateaued. And so you don't get the same immediate gratification in your training plan, but you actually do get set up for sustainable results that are actually going to resolve the problem long term. And what's going to happen down the track with the two methodologies, like if you've been using punishment and things like that, you're going to have to ask for help later. You're probably going to have made the problem worse, and ultimately you haven't had the quick result because you're going to be battling the same problem or similar problems all the way for potentially years to come. Whereas the other methodology, yeah, it takes a little bit of time to get building, but you're doing the work so that you don't have to in the long run.